What's up, legends? Welcome back to NCR. Time for another quick one on the shed today. There was one more thing that I wanted to get done as part of the gearbox swap, and it was a suggestion from you guys, and I do listen to the things that you say, and that was temperature monitoring. A few of you had mentioned, specifically in the MX5 community, that these AZ6s can run very hot, and that of course can lead to failure. So I have gone ahead and popped a temp gauge set up into the car, so let's jump in there now and take a look. And here we are, our lovely 52mm gauge. I'll just turn it on so you can watch the opening ceremony. How cool is that? Now, that opening ceremony can actually be configured, but pretty much everything on this thing can be configured. So this is a Just Race Parts 52mm trans temp or water temp gauge. You can configure it for both in a 3D printed gauge vent adapter. Now, I did talk about these on Facebook once before. If you guys want one, and they actually do work quite well, lots of air still comes through, I will link you to the free STL that I've got up on Maker World so you can print your own one of those. Now, as for the gauge itself, great bit of gear. Obviously, it's quite chilly here in the shed today, so you can see that the trans temp is not very high and the car has not been running. I'll show you in a moment how I routed the trans temp and you know, bits and pieces there. This little red button that I've got here is what drives it. Okay, so you can use this to move through all the menu options, and believe me, there's quite a few of them. If you're interested, you know, do read the manual and have a look at all the features. I'll give you a very quick crash course, but you've got your peak recall, and that can be reset. You've got your color choices, which is the normal gauge color. I've just gone with white because I don't really want to be watching this thing, you know, heavily. I'm going to make use of the pre-stage warning and then obviously the warning buzzers. When we go through that menu, you're going to hear the buzzers. Oh, you've got brightness. Then you've got your alarm type, alarm volume. I've got it set to the most annoying one and the highest volume. You've got your opening ceremonies, which is what it does when it turns on and off. You've got your trans temp warning. I'm still not sure what that will be yet. I'm still waiting to hear from ULX about where we should actually set that. And then if we continue through, you will see the pre-stage warning colors. So you've got CL2, 3, and 4, which is effectively pre-stage warning, next stage warning, final warning. So mine goes yellow, orange, then red, and then it will sound the buzzer. What else have we got in here? You've also got, there is a warm-up setting as well, which is that one there. So you can have the gauge do gradients of colors between 2, telling you that the gearbox is not up to temp yet and don't go crazy. But look, there's a lot of features. I'm not going to go through all of them. It's a great bit of gear. I'm pretty impressed with it for the money. Funny story though, I was planning originally to integrate trans temp into this guy, and I bought the sensor for that. And then I realized after the fact, and completely my fault, that this is like an OG version 1, 10-in-1 gauge, and it doesn't have the port that you need to make use of the sensor. So in the end, I ended up having to buy the gauge as well, so now I've got a spare sensor. But big props to the guys at JRP for helping me work through that when it was indeed my fault. Now I'm going to jump out of the car now and see if I can stop the door chime annoying the hell out of us, and I'll show you how I installed it, you know, underneath very briefly, and I'll show you what's in the kit. I'll show you how I routed the sensor for those that are interested, and then there's something cheeky under the car that I'll give you a quick look at while we're there. Let's go. Okay, super quick crash course and install. Pop this guy out, it just pulls out. Take this fascia trim piece off here. There's a little bolt down here that you'll need to remove. This comes out, and then that's going to give you great access to your vent. This just pulls out as one unit, and then you disassemble the vent. There's lots of little clips on it. The hardest part is probably routing the sensor, and you can't see it easily, but there's a grommet just over here near the clutch pedal. I'll show you that from underneath the car. That's how you get your sensor up and in, and I'll show you where I ran it through the engine bay. And then all you really need to do is pick up a permanent and an accessory power. Can you see? I'm just using fuse taps. Now the kit does come, you can see it there, with a fuse as well. So make sure you use that. Keep all your wiring nice and tidy. There's not really much to it. I haven't gone ahead and bothered with the headlight stuff because race car and there's no headlights in it anyway. So give yourself some 12 volt constant, give yourself some accessory power, and that's pretty much it. Get your sensor in there and it's simple enough. Now, in terms of the kit itself, it comes with tons of stuff. So you've got a gauge pod, various mounts. That's what was in there? The fuse was in there. That's the sensor itself. Obviously I've got a spare because I'm a spud and I ordered one without realizing I couldn't use it. You get this nice little card here, scan that, gives you instructions. It's all very straightforward. So as I said, it's a nice bit of gear. What I'm going to do now, and we might just scoot around. We'll see, I'll grab that light first in case we need it. And then we'll just quickly scoot around and I'll show you. Can we see, so you can see that loom there. It comes out of a grommet just down there. Let me fix that. Goes up, over, and then down to the box itself. And I'll jump over, we'll pop this up on the hoist. I'll jump on and I'll show you that. It's all very straightforward, but if you got any questions, pop them in the comments. Otherwise, I'll roll this forward, we'll get it up on the hoist, and we can have a look at what's going on under the car. Alrighty, under the car now, and you can see our sensor installed and our loom that runs up and over the trans tunnel across the firewall and into the cabin. Now, make sure you pop some strain relief, cable ties here and there, always good practice for a loom. If you take a closer look in there, you can see there's an adapter. So that is an Aero M18 by 1.5. It'll vary depending on the gearbox that you're using, but that will work for this AZ6. The sensors are NPT, so very good chance you're going to need an adapter of some kind. And in terms of installation, obviously just take the drain plug out and go for it. But if your box is full like mine, then make sure that the fill plug stays in. Disconnect the loom, get your sensor and adapter configured on the bench, and you'll be surprised how little fluid you'll lose as long as you're quick. So you pull the drain plug out, pop the sensor in real quick, finger tight, and tighten him up. I'll pop a photo up. I was pretty happy with that. Hard to see in this light and this angle, but up in there behind the clutch master is a perfectly positioned rubber grommet you can take out, and that will allow you to get your sensor loom up inside the car with minimal fuss. So the hardest part, as I said, is always the stuff inside the footwell. Now we'll call that done for this guy, but I wanted to show you one other thing while we're under the car, cheeky bonus. Check these out. NCR splitter tunnel version 2 prototype. Pretty happy with these. These are PETG CF. I was running the old PETG ones. I've added a center strake. These ones are much wider. I've tried to use as much of the space through here as I can. So if you want more information on those, jump on Facebook, it's all on there. From here, what's next? I think we need to swap our sway bar over. We're gonna try a factory one, give the car an alignment, and then it's time to go racing next month. So got any questions, pop them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.